Hi guys, so we're going to go over the vocabulary for the week, and we're going to go over the literary terms, and we're going to do the poetry in the reading writing workshop together. Remember yesterday how we talked about writers that talk about success in different ways? Let's take a look at some examples today of success. First, our vocabulary words for the week. The first word is attain. Attain means to achieve something. The climber wanted to attain the goal of being the first person to reach the peak. She has her arms raised in the air because she is excited about reaching the peak of the mountain, the top. Okay, her goal was to be a person who reached the top, and she did that. So she is successful and has attained her goal. Dangling. Dangling means to hang, like this apple is hanging from the tree. The ripe apple was dangling from the end of the branch. We talked about examples of things that dangle. Chandeliers dangle, earrings dangle from your ear, fruit dangles from the tree. Omar put his mask on one ear today and let the other side hang down, showing that it was dangling. Okay. Next word is hovering. Hovering means to fly in one place and not to move. This hummingbird can fly in one place and he doesn't have to move. Helicopters can fly in one place and they don't move. Your hoverboard means that you stand in one place above the board while it is moving. The hummingbird was hovering in front of the flower's petals, so he was flying without moving right in front of the flower. Triumph, this sounds like an F. Triumph is to be successful at something. It is a synonym for attain. They both mean to be successful. Triumph is, in this picture, is the team who won the state soccer championship. Winning the state soccer championship was a triumph. Was successful at winning. They attained their goal of winning the championship. Only 4 words this week as we have poetry terms. Poetry terms this week. Stanza, denotation, connotation, and repetition. We're going to skip past the poems for a second and we're going to talk about the literary terms and then we'll go back to the poems. Our poems this week are narrative poems. A narrative poem is a poem that tells a story and has characters. It can be true or not true. It's written in stanzas often. It doesn't have to be. It can be written freely without stanzas. This poem that we have in our picture here, and we'll see this as we read it, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stanzas. There are 2 little signs of repetition in the center. Narrative poems tell stories, has characters, can be true or made up, and often has stanzas. Character, we know, like in our stories, is someone in our poem. Next, we have theme. Just like when we have a story and we have a theme, there's a message or a lesson that the author wants us to learn. In a poem, there's a message or a lesson that the poet, the person who wrote the poem, wants us to learn. That is what the theme of our poetry is. Stanza. A stanza is the group of lines that are written together. We see here there's a white line between each stanza, making it easy for us to recognize the different stanzas. When we read the climb, we'll point out the number of stanzas in the poem. Repetition is when words or phrases are repeated in the poem. They are often repeated to show emphasis, to make you pay attention to the words because they are important, or they are used to make the song sound rhythmic like music. Connotation and denotation. Denotation is when you have the dictionary meaning of a word. Like if I take a word and I look up the meaning in the dictionary, the denotation of the word is the meaning that we find in the dictionary. Connotation is the feeling that's associated with the word. Like for instance, if I say I am so full I'm going, or if I say I'm stuffed, meaning that I've eaten too much. Stuffed gives me the feeling that I'm going to burst. I have overeaten. Okay? Connotation is the feeling that comes with the word. not the actual meaning of the word, but the feeling that comes with it. If I say that person is very weak, 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 then we get the feeling that this is something negative. They're not able to take care of themselves. They're not. Their body is not strong. This is a negative connotation. If I say a person is very strong, then we have the opposite feeling, and we think that a person is able-bodied and is capable of taking care of themselves. So connotation is the feeling or the idea associated with the word. Our example here is immense. The word immense means large, but when we say immense, immense is associated with being ridiculously large, like bigger than life large. Okay, something that's out of the ordinary. Immense means the feeling that you get when you say immense is that it's something that you just can't imagine how big it is. All right, let's go back. Oops, sorry. Let's go back and look at the poems. We'll start with Sing to Me. All right, Sing to Me is on page 294 in your reading writing workshop. The cool white keys stretched for miles. How would my hands pull and sort through the notes, blending them into music? I practiced and practiced all day, my fingers reaching for a medley that hung dangling like an apple just out of reach. I can't do this. I can't do this. The day ground on, notes leaping hopefully into the air, hovering briefly only to crash. An awkward jangle, a tangle of noise before slowly fading away. My mom found me, forehead on the keys. She asked, "Would you like some help?" It took months for my hands to do what I wanted. She sat down on the bench, her slender fingers plucking notes from the air. I can do this. I can do this. She sat with me every night that week, working my fingers until their efforts made the keys sing to me too. Okay? So the boy is practicing the piano because he wants to learn how to play, and he's getting very frustrated because it's like the music is just out of his reach, hanging like an apple on the tree that he can't quite reach to pull down. And he feels like he's unable to do it. It's a repetition here where they repeat the word to show you how frustrated he feels. The day grounds on, his mother comes in, she finds him with his forehead. He's put his forehead down on the keys because he's very frustrated and he's having difficulty playing. She offers to help him, and he starts to feel like, as he watches her play, that he can do this. If he practices hard enough and he doesn't give up, he can do this. So we go from a negative connotation at the beginning where he says he can't do it to a positive connotation at the end where he feels like he can if he tries and practices. And she practices with him, and soon the keys were making music and singing to him just like when his mother played. Okay, so this boy is successful because he doesn't give up and he keeps trying. The climb. Go on, I dare you, my brother's voice mocking, a jaybird's repetitive screech. We are waiting for the bus under our immense oak tree. I reach for the lowest branch and find another to pull myself up before I lose my grip on the slippery bark and slither down the trunk. Again. Today at school, I drop my milk at lunch, take a pop quiz, and argue with my friends. Today is my birthday. When I get off the bus, the oak tree doesn't look any smaller or bigger. Today I am 10 years old. I reach for the lowest branch and find another to pull myself up. My hands find another and another, over and over among the red outstretched leaves. Foot to branch, push. Hand to branch, pull. My brother is rooted on the ground, staring up at me, until finally I can't climb any higher, or I will be a cloud. So the boy is trying to climb the tree. His brother's daring him to do it. He keeps slipping and falling down, which it says again he's done before. He goes to school. It says today, today, today. There's emphasis that all of these things happened in one day. When he gets home from school, it's his birthday and he's 10 years old, so he tries again and he climbs over. He finds another branch and he climbs over and over the leaves and he climbs the tree so high that his brother is at the bottom of the tree staring up at him. And he says he can't go higher or he would be in the clouds. Okay. All right. Notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 stanzas. Okay, there are 7 different stanzas. All right, we have repetition here where it says today, today, today. Very important to point out that all of these events happened on one day, the day of his birthday. All right, again, this poem starts with a negative connotation at the beginning where he's unable to climb the tree and ends with a positive connotation where he is able to be successful at the end. All right, we'll discuss more poems tomorrow. Have a nice evening. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.